Hey, get ready to talk like a brand and live your best brand life. I'm Peachi Williams, your brand voice builder. In this episode, we're talking about why brand voice is key. So let's get into it. When working with a copywriter, you'll often hear them speak on brand voice. They may call it brand language, but it's basically the same thing. What most people fail to realize, especially when dealing with someone in branding, is that the process is more than just the visual, like the logo and colors that make up their identity. Because everything really relies on brand voice to set the foundation. So, how does brand voice help your brand? A well-developed brand voice helps your target audience relate to your brand. While many people think it's the logo or website that draws the audience to you, that's only half of it. It really all starts with the brand voice. It's easy to think about brand voice when writing, but when used on social media, a consistent brand voice actually builds relationships with your followers and attracts new audiences. And that's because they identify with your brand voice and will know what to expect when they connect with you. So here are a few other reasons why a strong brand voice works. First, it fosters trust to build a community around your brand. There are a lot of people that follow brands solely because they connect with them in ways no one can ever imagine. And so your brand voice works in that capacity to make sure those people come to know, like, and trust you. It also helps streamline any responses and reactions. You have to be consistent in the way you speak to your audience, and that reflects on how people react when they complain and how you also react when you respond. A strong brand voice works to help you with your brand identity. People know certain brands. Nike doesn't have to say anything. You can see a picture and you know that it's Nike. That's because they worked hard on their brand voice and it resonates in everything they do. A strong brand voice delivers consistent messaging, and that builds trust. You want to make sure your audience comes to trust you. They trust what you know, they trust what you say, and they start believing in your brand. A strong brand voice also gives you control to shape opinions. You want to make sure that you connect with your audiences on their level, using the right tone and brand voice so that they'll trust you, and when you say something, they listen. Having a strong brand voice helps develop your own personality because brand voices do evolve over time. A brand voice helps you learn what you're supposed to be saying, when you're supposed to be saying it, and who you should say it to. A strong brand voice also helps with being authentic with your audiences. Everyone loves a good brand story. Everyone loves to hear what you have to say, and you want to keep it that way at all times. So only you can determine how you want to use your voice and the tone you need to engage and stay connected to your audiences. But once you find it, the next step will be determining how to segment your voice for each platform. Even when segmented, your voice should resonate in everything, from social media to the ads people see. The overall goal is to put yourself in position where people will know your brand without words. In this digital landscape, there are so many brands that you can easily get lost in the shuffle. There's only so much you can do to make your brand stand out if you're just relying on your logo or your visual content. In fact, Sprout Social surveyed some consumers on why some brands stood out and others didn't. 40% said memorable content, 33% said distinct personality, and 32% said compelling storytelling. Guess what? All of these categories relied on brand voice to connect with their audiences. You can't be distinctive if you don't have a distinctive brand voice. So, the brand voice helps your audience become familiar with the brand. Do you want to stay hidden, or are you ready to let your voice be heard? Until next time, check us out at The Right Mix, WRITEMIXX.com.